Hello and welcome to the workshop on the detection and emergence of complexity in the context of artificial life. Can you all hear me well? Good. It's for like the workshop first of its kind at EPFL or even Switzerland, which is pretty exciting. And seeing the faces, there's probably no need to really introduce the topic, but let me do it anyways in case there's someone who came for the free croissants and decided to stay for the talk. So for me, artificial life is really about studying the fundamental mechanisms of life while abstracting away the particularities of its biological implementation on Earth and recreating such phenomena in simulation. And it's naturally a very interdisciplinary field, which is also demonstrated by the diversity of our speakers, who will cover various systems where such emergent phenomena occur, all the way from the classical cellular automata to its continuous versions, like the beautiful Lenya and its variants, all the way to Boolean circuits and programs and language models playing games, all the way to biological neural networks. It's really exciting that we have speakers who really do some of the most exciting research on artificial life currently. And to introduce ourselves, the two main organizers is myself, Barbara, and Vasilis, my colleague. But we wanted to give huge thanks to Marie and Arthur for their work. Arthur is there. He designed our very cool website. The two of us are postdocs in the group of Clément Hongler, who's there. We have very different academic backgrounds, but we all share a passion for studying artificial life systems. And I think each of our journeys to Alife is quite unique. That's why we kindly asked each speaker to start with like a little introduction of how they got into it. And since Clément will give a talk on Tuesday afternoon on the life of games, he'll have a chance to introduce his journey then. And for now, we can start with me and Bas.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, the first time I got into contact with some artificial life stuff was probably when I was like maybe 15 or 16, and I was just browsing YouTube, and I was watching a lot of YouTube. And I stumbled probably on a video on the game of life and explaining a little bit how it works, what you can build in it. And then I went a bit into this rabbit hole. I remember seeing, maybe, I don't know if it matches the timeline, but I remember knowing about Lenya from a long time ago. So I remember seeing this video. And at the time I was super interested. I was coding a little bit, but I remember I didn't start playing with it. And in any case, in my mind, I was already sure I want to do theoretical physics, so it was a brief kind of contact, but then I kind of forgot about it. And so I did that. I did my PhD in theoretical physics, and at the end of the PhD, I was wondering whether I should change direction towards something that has a bit more coding maybe into it. And so I sent an email to Clément asking to see whether he had some, I don't know, research direction that was more towards machine learning also, that was kind of popping off at the time, 3 years ago. And so I visited Clément, and he mentioned, again, this Lenya, which I remembered, and other models, and artificial life in general, and said that he was really interested into this. And to me, this was really exciting, first of all, because I remembered these videos from when I was younger, and also because, of course, I love programming. So I would say, okay, this would be perfect, because there would be also some theory and some programming. But there was a chance that there would be no funds, right, for this postdoc. And so I went to talk also with Joao, which is also in the room here. And we talked about it. We were talking about several subjects, whether we can maybe apply machine learning into theoretical physics, because I also want to do something like that. He was not very interested, but at some point he mentioned that he was interested into understanding evolution and stuff like that. And I say, oh, perfect. So that's exactly what Clément wants also to do. And so it just so happened that there was a grant for postdocs that are shared between two fields. So in this case was math and physics. And we applied for this grant, and we got it, and that's how I got into artificial life.
So my journey is that I knew for a long time I want to study mathematics, and in my undergrad it kind of crystallized that I would like to do algebra and or logic, because I read the book Gödel Bach, and I got really fascinated by the fact that you can prove that some things cannot be proven. And well, then later it turns out that that relates to self-reference, which relates to self-reproduction, which is one of the crucial aspects of a life-like system. But I only realized this connection thanks to my master thesis and PhD thesis supervisor, Tomáš Mikolov, who did quite some interesting research in neural networks and then decided to change topics completely and came back to Prague with an open mind and with the curiosity to study artificial life. And I so happened to meet him at this time and start a project with him, and quickly became fascinated with the emergent phenomena and beautiful visualizations, and the fact that there's, I guess, a lot of room to also formalize these notions into mathematics. And particularly I'm interested in studying the relationship between the coolness of a system and its ability to compute. And then I was lucky again to meet Clément, who also has an open mind to do this kind of research. Yeah.
Great.
So that's us, and that's it. So thank you so much for being here, and we can start with Bert, who will tell us about one of the most iconic Alife systems.